Wizards of the Coast, I hope you're paying attention, because you could be in trouble. Hi everyone, welcome back. MTG Moxman here. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. And if you're new to my channel and you've just found me on YouTube, smash that subscribe button, join in the fun. I'm looking forward to talking with you guys each and every day. And of course, to all my regular viewers, welcome back everyone. Let's have a blast with the video. Can't wait to see your comments in the comment section. So, Flesh and Blood recently had its tournament. It was on the weekend. I saw the Rudy video. Some people were plugging away in it in some of my Discord, some of my chats, emails. Very cool stuff. Congratulations to Flesh and Blood. I remember those days when Magic was young and it had its first tournament. It was cool. And my mind started going over the weekend as I was thinking about this to those areas it shouldn't go where it gets all negative, like what could happen? I mean, what could go on? Understand, it's just a negative input of my brain, but I thought I would just share with you how this all works. My brain goes to comparables of things that have already happened. Do you remember BlackBerry? It was a great phone company, biggest in the world for a while. Let me show you something here. See if we can find some parallel similarities. BlackBerry once reigned as king of the smartphone, selling more than 50 million units a year at its peak in 2011. The Canadian telecom company was originally named Research in Motion and had tens of millions of customers. It started out creating pagers and handsets. But the first iteration of the smartphone, complete with iconic keyboard, took shape in the first 15 years. At one time, BlackBerry controlled more than 50% of the smartphone market, and in the US, 20% globally. In the mid-noughts, BlackBerry phones were everywhere, but demand rapidly declined, and in 2016, BlackBerry stopped manufacturing their own phones. So what happened? Well, this is about how BlackBerry lost its market share. And this little bit of the article was brought to you by Alexandra Apolloni, November 21st, 2019, and she put this up at 9 a.m. Now I want to show you something else. This is the competition that came along for BlackBerry. This was Apple's iPhone. It came out in 2008. That's about 3 years after BlackBerry had its top-selling year. This phone was a full-screen touch phone. It was amazing, okay? I myself remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Isn't that the line people like to use in my comment section? I remember my BlackBerry and I loved it. It was great. It was amazing. But something better came along and replaced it. And because BlackBerry didn't keep up and was too slow to change, it was replaced with a better product. That's what happened. They fought tooth and nail at the end, but it was too late. Change was on the way. This is what happens when companies don't pay attention to things around them and don't get behind them quick enough. Okay, you saw that. I read it to you. Do you feel informed? All right. Now, let's take a look at this one here. Oh, look at that Flesh and Blood. Come on. You know you'll love looking at it. Flesh and Blood had that first tournament this weekend. Big success, 900 plus people, amazing times, right? I know. But don't worry, Wizards has its own tournaments. Oh, do they? Do they really? Because I only see a lot of online stuff right now, and nobody's talking about anything, and they've canceled the Pro Tour stuff, and they've got... You see my problem here? Flesh and Blood has found a way in. Wizards gave them an opening. Okay? You can play online. You can. Don't worry. I mean, Wizards has online tournaments, right? Check this out. Here we go. Just check it out. So, when you check out what Flesh and Blood's doing, you have your skirmish level where you're just getting your skills up. Then you get the road to nationals where you start playing against other local community groups and stuff. You have the national championships. Then you have the Pro Tour. Look how easily it's legible, it's easy to read, easy to understand. Like I remember when Magic used to do it. Okay? Okay, we follow that. Now, here is the event schedule for online. Oh, wait, they don't have any in-person events right now. I forgot about that. Magic's not doing any real in-person Pro Tour stuff at all. They haven't even announced anything, really, have they? If they have, I haven't heard of it or read it. And when I went to their webpage, it was so confusing. I couldn't follow what was going on at Wizards webpage, but I had no trouble going to Flesh and Bloods and finding out what's going on and where. That's scary. That's a problem. It may not be a problem for me personally. I'm a Magic diehard fan through and through. But the fact I'm doing this video and telling you guys this, I'm thinking negative thoughts. Can you see? This is where the brain starts to go. There are players playing the game. Things can be replaced. Things can change. It happens every day when a better product comes along. Now, if we take a look here, this was the Flesh and Blood tournament. Look at that! All these people having fun. There's a judge in some yellow shirts walking around, making sure everyone knows what's going down. Okay? It kind of reminds me of my days of going to Hilton hotels and stuff, going to Magic Pro Tour qualifiers. I do remember doing it. I remember for Visions, Tempest, I remember being there for Mirage. Kind of crazy, right? Except for instead of a Magic symbol, I see a big thing for Flesh and Blood. Wow. Kind of freaky, right? I'm telling you, my brain starts going places. All right, now hold on. Let's go to a Magic Pro Tour. Oh, wait. That's right, some weird discombobulated online thing, which I couldn't understand. And whenever you try to get a Mythic, you end up playing against decks that automatically beat you. And you get beat down, you get beat down, you get beat down. Because it's an auto shuffler system that's all messed up and flawed and buggy. And it's not me shuffling my deck so I know it's been touched by human hands. It's some computer with a randomizer that decides to mess you up. So they decide who gets to go to the Pro Tour. You see what I mean? People had to earn it there. Other people didn't. But this is how Pro Tours were when I remember back in Magic's heyday. Here's how I remember things being. That's what I remember when I went to some hotels. And those giant convention rooms with thousands of other Magic players. That's what I remember. And I remember going through the rounds and registering your deck. I remember there was no sideboards back in the day. This is the stuff I remember going through. The fact that Flesh and Blood did some in-person tournaments. They're still selling the product. They're getting a foothold, a toehold into a collectible card game that has a lot of people who like, as Flesh and Blood says, it's Flesh and Blood, it's in person. You want to be there. The fact that Wizards has left a gap and an opening inside their schedule, it almost seems like it's done on purpose, doesn't it? Almost like Wizards allowed it to happen. I don't know. But the good news is everything can be corrected. It's not too late for Wizards to change course and correct things. But what happens if they don't? What happens if Wizards likes the way things are going and they think everything's fine? BlackBerry thought the same thing. They said, oh, iPhones are for casual users. Our phones are for business professionals, right? Well, guess what? Eventually that small iPhone started getting business apps and business creations, which they took from BlackBerry and other companies and ideas around them, and they made it all one integrated system. I'm not saying anything bad's going to happen, but when your brain starts thinking this way, it gets kind of scary. Now, since Hasbro owns Wizards of the Coast, let's face it, if they choose to, they can just buy out Flesh and Blood pretty much, right? They can just buy out the company and do what they want. It happens. They also, though, could continue on that tournament path, or the best case scenario for me is if they say, you know what, we've got to fix this. We don't want this kind of competition. They don't want to sell their company to us. Let's bring in force the full Pro Tour qualifier again. Let's bring everything back to the way it was. Big in-person tournaments as soon as COVID gets cleared up, and let's rock this with some serious prizes. Because I admit that the Flesh and Blood prizes are kind of weak right now, but it's a starting game that's only been out for a couple of years, as many people like to tell me. Guys, I'm just saying it's a foothold. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Because I've seen companies fail before. I've seen somebody with a good idea take it and twist it into an amazing thing. And I've seen slow-moving giants get crushed by smaller companies that were more inventive, creative, and faster on their feet. It's kind of wonderful to see it because it makes you realize that Wizards had this stuff and kind of gave it up or got stale with it. And instead of always kind of twisting more money, Wizards should have been paying more attention to keeping their player base engaged and happy and letting the money flow as it came with new products. I really hope Wizards pays attention to this. I hope somebody out there shakes them a little bit and says, get on this. Fix it before it's too late. Because the last thing you want to have happen is Flesh and Blood rise to the top of the heap. People at Magic give up and go over to Flesh and Blood. I mean, these things happen. So it's just kind of crazy to think about. I want to know what everyone thinks as well. Make sure you smash those comments down there in the comments section. I want to see what people are typing away. If you're a Flesh and Blood player, let me know. If you're a Magic player, let me know. How would you feel about this? Are you a preferably in-person player, want to play tournaments? Or are you a person who doesn't care and you'll play on Arena because it doesn't matter to you, but you just want to play in a tournament? That's what I'm curious about, how prizes work. And what do you think? Because I'm not really concerned per se right now. But again, BlackBerry wasn't concerned either until it was too late, which only took 3-4 years. What would 3-4 more years of the current pace do? Guys, thanks for tuning in. This is MTG Moxman. Wizards, get it together, man. Just get it together. Have a great one, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey guys, big shout out to all my patrons out there. You're rocking the world. And for those of you who are trying to get onto my Patreon, just give it a little while. I will be opening a couple of slots for October. Just bear with me. I like to do it nice and slow to make sure everything's being covered. To all my patrons, thanks again. Patrons rock. Okay, so predatory assault, brutal attack. Oh! This is nothing. Nothing at all. I'm just staying ahead of the curve, guys. That's all. Don't worry about it. No, it's nothing. MTG Flesh and Blood. I mean, MTG Moxman, Flesh and Blood. I'll see you guys later.